This is Andy Purwell for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Adam Smith, the head of Sky Sports Boxing out here in Los Angeles, ahead of Saturday night, KSI versus Logan Paul 2. Adam, what are your thoughts as the beginning of the week and the media events take place?
I'm really excited. I flew over with Joe Weller today. I didn't know much about Joe Weller before this week, and what a great guy. And I found that these YouTubers, Logan Paul, KSI, Joe, they're bright kids. They're doing a big thing on social. They're relaying a lot of videos to a lot of. It's a new demographic, isn't it, for us? It's the young. It's an exciting marketplace for us. My kids are really into it, and I think there's a lot of people in boxing who'll say, why are two novice professionals topping a bill at the Staples Centre? But this is entertainment, and this is what they want to see. It's a great narrative. They don't like each other. There's history. There's a draw, and they don the gloves on the game. But this time it's 10-ounce gloves. They turn professional, no head guards, and I think it's a fascinating one. You got Billy Joe Saunders and Devin Haney on the card too, two of the best fighters in the world, and they're on the undercard. So it's a strange one, but it's one that's going to be a big experiment for us. We're fusing the social and boxing teams together. We're all really excited about it, and look, it's going to be a great fight week. It's a lot of hype around. They're great entertainers, and then they're going to fight. It's good fun.
Obviously, the headline fight has received its critics, as I know you're aware. In the ideal world, what would be the outcome in a positive sense from Saturday night?
Yeah, look, the hardcore. I'm a big boxing fan like you are, and the hardcore will say, look, it's ridiculous that fighters that have been training since they're 7 or 8 and they scrap away and they try and get a British title, and then these two guys come in and they've had one fight in Manchester, and then they come over here and they top a bit at the Staples Centre. It's ludicrous if you think about it like that, but it's not like that. This is about entertainment. It's about business. It's about what people want to see. More people want to see this than they do the average fight in Britain. Therefore, it's got to be dealt with as such, and we're putting it on Sky Sports box office for a good price, under £10, as trying something new, and you've got to change with the times. So the outcome, I just want a good fight at its level. They're two novice pros, like we'd have two novice pros on a card in Britain. You treat them as such. You don't expect wonders on the first time. Hopey Price turned professional the other day. You don't judge him just on those 4 rounds. You wait and see how his career develops. These two are going to be judged by the YouTube world on exactly what happens on Saturday night, because the loser is going to face enormous amounts of music in that space the next days, weeks and months that lie ahead. Joe Weller was telling me that he lost to KSI in their first fight, and he was telling me that the aftermath is terrible, and that's what is the fear of losing, I think, with these two. Whereas I think if you lose your professional debut, like Johnny Nelson lost his first 3 fights, many people have lost their pro debut and gone on to really good careers. So it's very different. This is a completely different marketplace, a completely different demographic, and hopefully it's a demographic that's going to really tune into boxing. That's what we want to see. We want to have the young come in, see Billy Joe, see Devon, and see these guys, and and want to get down the gyms and try and emulate one of the, whether they're the top boxers or the novice pros, one of their heroes.
Now, I know we are on limited time as the 40-day screening is about to start, so we will come on to Devin Haney and Billy Joe Saunders either tomorrow or another day this week. But I want you to go back to this past weekend. Anthony Crolla's last fight in Manchester, and Katie Taylor becoming 2-weight world champion. Starting off with Anthony Crolla, what was your thoughts on his last performance?
I thought he was flat, Anthony. I thought he didn't box great, and probably has made the right decision to retire. That's being brutally honest. I've respected and admired Anthony Crolla since the first time he laced on the gloves back in 2006, I think it was, and he is an absolute role model, an advert for boxing at its finest. He is a great guy out of the ring, and he's had an amazing journey inside it, and it was a special moment when he knocked out Dallas Perez with that body shot in the 5th round to win the world title in front of his Manchester people. He defended against Ismael Barroso. He shared the ring with Jorge Linares a couple of times, and of course he got beaten by Vasily Lomachenko, as everybody does. So he's had a great career, and it was a difficult one. He was probably emotional beforehand, maybe not as up for it, because he was expected to beat his opponent, and actually I thought he was very lucky to get the decision. So it was flat. I didn't think he looked like he enjoyed it much, but I think, and I don't think he'll want to watch it back, but I'm pleased in a way that he got the win, even though he didn't get the win on my card. But I'm pleased he did get the win. That he was robbed against Carlos Perez for the world title. I mean, no one will say a bad thing if Anthony Crolla gets a little bit of a lucky verdict. And some people thought he won well, but the rounds were close. I thought he lost the first 3 or 4, and he didn't fight as well as we have done, and that's probably the reason why he's calling it a day at 32. So we'll remember him for many more fond nights than on Saturday. But it was nice that everyone was there for him, his stable mates, the crowd came out, and it was great. But for me, the night belonged to Katie Taylor. Wonderful atmosphere for her. Tough fight. Lidadatu was strong and aggressive and never stopped, and she definitely won rounds. But for me, Katie tactically got it right. She didn't get engaged. She boxed beautifully at times. Didn't have it all her own way, but put a really good performance on to become a 2-weight champion. And she goes on to become even greater than maybe people predicted she would as a pro. She was the best amateur that ever lived. Now, as a pro, she's unified the lightweight titles, and okay, she got a contentious win in the Garden, but now she's become a 2-weight champion. She fights the likes of Amanda Serrano, Cecilia Braccas. If she gets wins against those, she's got to go down as one of, if not the greatest woman fighter ever. So that's what she wants. Some people probably saw weaknesses or a few holes in the Persone fight. And again, she lost rounds on Saturday, but she won it for me, won it nicely, and she goes on. She's an amazing ambassador and a phenomenal fighter. So it was a great night for Katie.
My final question: during the night, Canelo stopping Kovalev during the 10th round. Your thoughts on Canelo's stoppage victory?
About Felix Cash and Jack Cullen, which was probably one of the domestic fights of the year, which was incredible. And hats off to the pair of them. And well done, Felix Cash, for winning that. Canelo, I thought he'd deal with Kovalev a bit easier than he did. I thought he struggled a little bit at times with the jab and the reach, but eventually got to him in the end. The only thing people are going to remember is the knockout. So it was a brutal finish. It was a phenomenal finish from Canelo, and hats off to him to become a champion in the light heavyweight division. It's incredible. I don't think he'll stay there. I don't think he should stay there. I think he'll come back down. He should fight Billy Joe Saunders or Callum Smith or someone like that, or Golovkin again, and come back to his more natural weight. But look, he took a challenge on. He did it, and he's a phenomenon, isn't he?
Well, Adam Smith, I appreciate your time. I'm sure this screen's about to start now. Thanks for being myself on Boxing Social.
Cheers, no problem at all.